Hello, gamers. We are in a little bit of trouble because I could have retreated and come back after peak, in which peak performance regenerates when you retreat and then re-engage, I believe. But I didn't do that. I was a little tunnel visioned, dug in my heels, and we lost most of our fleet fighting these things. And as tempting as it is to go back in with a single omen, I think I'm going to pass. So it looks rough, but it's really not entirely as bad as it seems. First of all, I was saving up credits to upgrade this station as soon as this current upgrade finished. So I've got more than enough credits to buy those ships again. A bunch of Omens, a Sunder, and a Fury can easily be replaced for less than 400,000 credits. So that's a non-issue. I still have a Paragon and a Legion 14 back home, so it's not like, even if I don't go buy them, it's not like we have nothing. We still have plenty of fleet. And at the same time, because the bonus XP was so high, not only did I level up, I'm almost ready to level up again. And this is really useful because the next thing I'm going to do is I want to level up, which is only going to take a couple 100,000 XP, grab this, and then at the same time I can reassign bulk transport over to systems expertise. And that should make a big difference in my flagship's performance. So, we can easily replace the ships that we lost, and we did get a bunch of XP. Those are the upsides. The downside here, really, is the story points that were invested into those ships, because those aren't coming back. Well, they are kind of coming back, but it takes longer to grind out story points later on in the game. So those early story points, you get a bunch of them, and if you lose them, you're going to have to spend a lot more time grinding later on, which is definitely going to be relevant here, because I do want to grab Cybernetic Augmentation, I want to grab Best of the Best, I want to grab Officer Training, and then so I'm going to be triple S modding my ships and getting 3 elite skills on my officers. That is 6 story points per ship. We really need to hold on to these if we can. Of course, eventually we can just farm for them, but, if we want to save some time, that losing ships is not part of the plan. So with that being said, let's just go to the core worlds and buy some ships. Are we still at war with Tritachyon? No, we're not. So that should be fine. They should have plenty of Omens and... Oh, it looks like there's a... No, that's the mothership. Right. There should be plenty of Omens. Furies are not difficult to find. Sunders are not difficult to find. And there's a few things I could have done to actually make sure I would win that. I could have equipped a second Reaper instead of Sabos on my flagship. I could have given the Omens Reapers instead of Salamanders. I could have given the Sunder a high-intensity laser plus IR auto lances. And, and it would have been nice if the Sunder didn't seem to bug out a little bit, but it is what it is. So I'm pretty confident that with the right preparations and the extra skills I'm going to collect, we can go back again with the same ships, and we should be able to win this. Although, just to be cautious, I might grab like an extra Sunder or something, because I really want to make sure I'm not screwing around this time. If I really wanted to be serious, though, I would bring the Paragon, but I feel like that would tank the bonus XP value, and leveling up faster is nice. Another thing I'm going to be doing here is scouring the sector for our officers, because I really need officers. The current ones that I have are just temporary. All of these guys just don't have the skill sets that I'm looking for. It looked like that guy was chasing me, but I guess not. Alright. Officer. Nope. They're just never going to appear. That's the... This is why I have to scour the sector. They just never appear. Yeah, I think I'll drop these off. I'm going to hold on to that, of course. Yeah, I'm not giving you the Planet Killer. I don't think that that has much of a benefit to me. Alright, and today we're abandoning the ethics of who should own a Planet Killer, and we're just going to do whatever's best for me. In this case, probably Pathers. Although there might be new mechanics around the Planet Killer this patch that just are, kind of a hush-hush, little bit of a secret. Maybe. I don't know. If that's the case, I don't think anyone's discovered that yet. Okay. So, do I have any Typhoons? Yeah, no, I'm gonna just buy those. Okay. I think a big loss actually might be the antimatter blasters on all of those omens, because replacing those is going to be annoying. They're pretty rare. Alright, now I'm up to 1.6 million credits. Yeah, the financial loss there was negligible. And there's a Fury right here. Plus, we've got some clean omens. I can afford to restore that. As a matter of fact, I could grab this one too. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm going to have to move everything up front. Now the only thing we're missing now is the Sunder and the equipment. And of course, the S-mods that were once on these ships. And frustratingly, the only omen that survived is the one that had a D-mod, and not one of the ones that was clean. Just can't catch a break, huh? Alright, we're going to need more of these, of course. Now let's see. I really don't have enough, and yeah, nothing. Okay. I do have a couple of Reapers. I am definitely thinking about, I think when I get best of the best, the third S-mod I'm going to slap on these is Missile Autoloader. I haven't really used it too much, and I want to try Reaper plus Missile Autoloader. When it's S-modded, the cooldown on these things is going to be 20 seconds, which is pretty long for a single torpedo. But it is a Reaper, so it's going to be 4 hits that are pretty strong, stretched out over the battle. It could be worth it compared to Salamanders. It's hard to say. Unlimited ammo versus 4 shots, but the difference in impact is unquestionable. Okay, so now I want to go looking for... You know, actually a Medusa might be a decent choice. Instead of a Sunder, I could grab like a Medusa plus a Tempest. And they do have Ion Pulsar. They only have 1. So I have to say Ion Pulsars, but nope, there's just the 1. Do you have a Mining Blaster? I think I'm going to go with the Medusa. Yeah, let's try that instead of the Sunder. And hopefully it won't be annoying and buggy. Although if I do find a Sunder as well, I'll grab that too. I'll slap a high-intensity laser on it. That should make quick work of those remnants. Now, well, not remnants, those derelict ships. Derelict drones? They're not derelict. You know, the probe drones. Now, I am going to miss out on both of these things. The original plan was to go here, then go up here, and then sweep across and grab those two. This little detour means that's not going to be happening. So, I could just abandon them right now. Just so that they're not clogging up my UI. Because, yeah, there's no way I'm getting 64 days with all... I need to go around on a shopping trip, then come back over here, then come do these missions. Yeah, or I could go do these first, but I really don't want to. I don't think that's worth it. Alright, let's see. Orbiting an arid world, and orbiting a jump point. Alright, no gates, that's fine. So I think we've got more or less what we want from here. Grab this. Although one build that I found surprisingly effective for the Medusa was... I put breach missiles in these slots, which, you know, everyone puts kinetics. I put breach missiles, and then a kinetic blaster with an IR auto lance, and a couple of ion cannons for some EMP. It was surprisingly good. I did not think it would be elegant. At least the baseline version was pretty good. Maybe if you put on a bunch of... I don't know how good it is once you max it out with like hull mods and S mods and stuff. But this was something I was testing in the missions tab, so it was just very baseline. And it was surprisingly good. Like, it outperformed a lot of other builds that I assumed would be better. Now, normally I would want something like light needlers here, but with all of that being said, breach missiles are probably the right choice for dealing with the derelicts. I keep calling them derelicts. Is that the right term? I don't think it is. A couple of those. Maybe I do want an IR auto lance. Maybe something like this is a good idea. The flux cost here is pretty minimal. Yeah, I probably would want a heavy blaster instead. Then I would want ion cannons, and then the flux cost would be really high. Because I definitely don't want to go get a kinetic blaster, because first of all, that would be hard, and second of all, it would be kind of pointless for the mission we're going on. I'd rather a mining blaster here would make more sense. Yeah, go with the classic combo of ion pulsar mining blaster, and then instead of having kinetic weapons here like I normally would, just throw on some breach missiles. I think that's the right call. Okay, which means I don't believe that there's anything else here that I need. Maybe I could grab a few of these just in case. I mean, it's not that expensive compared to the amount of money I have saved up. Yeah. Alright, let's move on. Well, first we'll repair. Okay, I don't expect Kanta's Den to really have anything. I don't really expect this place to have anything either, but we'll just check. Black market trade, reputation reduced by 1. Not an issue. Okay, Megaport's finished. So Freeport, story points, Megaport upgrade, and the Alpha Core has gotten our... Yeah, don't need to do that. Our accessibility is quite high considering how far out it is. Minus 21% isolation. Yeah, that's looking pretty good. Although, let me check the income breakdown. Yeah, it's 10,000 from local income, 12,000. So with an 89% accessibility, the farming is getting us 12,000 credits. And then I'm assuming it's about 7,000 for maintenance. All right, let's head over here. Nope, no officers. You know, actually, I will check Kanta's Den for an officer because this is a little ridiculous. The game is just trolling me at this point. Okay. No breach missiles. Although I'm not sure it makes sense to pair breach missiles with a mining blaster. Maybe I want swarmers. You know, it's something that's good against armor or hull. I could put a swarmer over here. Yeah, we'll just do it. We'll do it asymmetrical, which is really going to hurt my soul, but we're going to do it. Okay. I don't want to S-mod this thing because I don't plan to keep it for too long. Escort package is definitely an interesting choice. I've tested it out a little bit with the Manticore, and I think the Manticore's actually it's pretty good with it. I even found, one interesting problem you run into is that its range actually gets so long that the classic combo of railguns plus Hellbore doesn't really work, just because it's firing at, when you fire that Hellbore at maximum range, even with Elite Ballistic Mastery, it's not hitting its targets at all. So what I ended up doing is switching the railguns out for light autocannons, and then switching the Hellbore for the Hephaestus Assault Gun. And even though that's a downgrade to your kinetic damage, I found that the performance of the Hephaestus Assault Gun, with all the buffs that it's gotten, you know, improved accuracy, reduced flux cost, that the overall performance was pretty good. Just a couple of pylons, a Hephaestus Assault Gun, and 3 light autocannons, right? Maximizing the range with ballistic, mastery, gunnery implants, targeting unit, escort package. It was tearing things up. It was doing pretty good. So that's probably something I'll be doing in the future. Will be like a low-tech playthrough where I pilot the Invictus myself and then bring some Manticores to escort. Maybe throw in like some Moras or something. Just start throwing in a bunch of low-tech carriers and spam fighters everywhere. That could be interesting. But that's not what we're doing this playthrough. So you'll have to look forward to that in the future. Okay. Yeah, I think this is fine in terms of equipment. Now I want to start focusing on hull mods. Yeah, without S-modding, this extended shields doesn't quite get to 360, but this is fine. We've got a couple burst PDs. Salamanders shouldn't be an issue. Frontal shield conversion should be fine by itself. That being said, let's get some more flux. Do I really need anything else? Probably hardened subsystems. If we've learned our lesson from last time, that might be a good pick. Okay, well, let's not go that crazy. Let's, Alright, and expanded magazines is going to be a good choice here. Yeah, let's go with that. Let's actually get up to 10,000 because that's just a really nice, neat number. 10,000 capacity, 500 dissipation. Looks good to me. Yeah, that should be fine. Now, if I can grab some antimatter blasters from anywhere. Alright, does anyone have Reapers? And I could grab hammers. The hammers sound interesting, but the only problem is they're just not as good at overloading ships, which makes a big difference. Okay. Do you guys have like a Sunder or something? Scarab. That would mean I would need more antimatter blasters. Heron could be a good temporary pickup if there's good... There is Thunders. And the EMP from these would be pretty annoying for the AI. What have I got? Yeah, not much. No, I think I'll pass. Actually, I should be putting things on this boy. Alright, let's get our double Reaper. There we go. Yeah, I also need antimatter blasters here. Okay. So I want to S-mod this. And I'm going to skip auxiliary thrusters this time. Instead, missile racks. Missile racks. Where are you? There you are. Yeah. Okay. So we've got that. Now I just need to remember what the remaining hull mods were. Probably... No, not targeting unit. Injectors. There we go. And frontal shield conversion definitely gets picked. And then the remaining... Yeah, I feel like there was more, but... Alright. I think the remaining would go to these two. There must have been more hull mods. There's no way it was just this. What am I missing? Yeah, no, I guess that's it. Just a lot of flux stats, which we do need. And then I'll save, yeah, something like this. 18 for a couple antimatter blasters. Yeah, now I'm starting to see it. This makes a lot of sense. Okay. That's enough of that. Let's move on. This is a shopping trip, baby. I'm not leaving until I find what I'm looking for. Which might be a while. Alright, let's see this income breakdown. 11,000 from here. Very nice. Commission. Obligation for 28,000 at this level. It's definitely worth considering. Oh, right, of course, I gotta turn that off. Oh, yeah, I'm a totally different person. No officers, of course. It's definitely worth considering sort of banning commissions in future playthroughs just because it's such an easy source of cash. But that makes, while that makes the game grindier, it also makes it, you know, it kind of makes it harder, but in the sense that it makes it grindier. But the late game challenges that are really going to push you to maximize your fleet's efficiency, those are going to be the same either way. You're just going to take longer to get there. So it's questionable whether or not I would actually want to do that. Maybe I could do different series, like one where... That actually would be an interesting thing to try, testing out two different series. One where I just give myself all the free passive income that I can to get to stuff faster, and then a different separate series where I starve myself as much as possible and make passive income very difficult to grab. And seeing just which one is more fun, really. That could be interesting. Okay. So yeah, you guys have nothing. You're useless. As expected of pirates. Of course you're useless. Oh, we're moving on. Okay, Arcadia. Let's see. Do you guys have anything? Haha, my transponder's on now, you fools. It was me the whole time. I tricked you so duplicitously. I'm such a devious individual. it's funny because fleets can identify you if you had your tread spotter on a few seconds ago, but I guess colonies just refuse you, like, as a sort of formality, right? They're doing it to keep up appearances, but they don't actually care that much. Why do you guys have antimatter blasters? I'll take them, but I do have a few questions. Who's in charge of procurement here? How did this happen? Do I have any of these? Yeah, I should probably grab some of those. Okay. Do you have, like, a Sunder or something? No, I don't think you guys run those anymore. Yeah. Oh. Yeah, of course. None of that. That's fine. Alright. So, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and story point Flux Coil Adjunct on all of them. And then I'm going to go with the traditional build, which just means Antimatter Blaster and then a few good hull mods and then max out capacity. Yeah, we don't want to get too crazy with these things. Mostly going to go back the same. And do you need any other hull mods? Wait, what do you have? No, you don't. Oh, right, that's where. Okay. I was like, why is there so many ordnance points? That's why. And then we save 2 so that we can put a Reaper here. Yeah. We just copy paste that over and over. Perfect. Okay. So we're getting closer to actually coming back. This is good. For now, I'm going to be putting you guys into these ships. But please, can I find some officers? Please. I'm getting so desperate at this point because this is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. You do get target analysis. That's a good one. Helmsmanship is on the list. And getting target analysis elite is pretty good for Omens. Doubling damage versus engines and weapons is really nice when you have a system that deals EMP damage. Plus, it makes it better at 1v1ing enemy frigates and destroyers. So I think that's a pretty good grab. Besides that, you grab systems expertise, but I'm not sure if it's actually better to get, like, elite systems expertise and field modulation versus combat endurance. Because the way that an Omen dies usually is it racks up chip damage over the course of a game. And I thought that combat endurance would be really good for that. You know, the problem before was, of course, if your armor is stripped off on this thing and you're and the repair only goes up to 325 hull, that's not enough to survive the next bit of chip damage. You're just going to die anyways. But having tested it a little bit, now that it repairs you to full, that repair actually does let you survive the next bit of chip damage. Whether it's from, you know, because they take a few stray shots every now and then, just because the AI is not always super responsive with the shields. Sometimes they're nearly fluxed out for a variety of reasons. And getting better shield efficiency doesn't fix that because the AI likes to push its luck sometimes. And that, so, you know, increasing the efficiency increases how long it can push its luck, but it doesn't exactly stop it from pushing its luck. And as a result, it's still going to be put in those situations where it's taking chip damage. So if you want to minimize their losses, it might actually be better to get that elite bonus on combat endurance. I'm not sure, but I'm going to try it. I'll probably grab Systems Expertise Elite, and then for my third one, I'll grab Combat Endurance. As tempting as it is to grab Elite Field Modulation, the flux generated by this thing is high enough that it doesn't really have spare flux to dissipate its shields. And on top of that, the reduced overload duration is not that useful for this thing. And if it's overloading, yeah, it's not coming back. Okay, so we repair. And I think we just get out of here. I'm just going to go, you know, planet to planet looking for officers. Because, you know, maybe if I go into the files next time, I'll increase this. Because look, nothing. Nothing. Next time I might go into the files and increase the spawn rate for them. Because this is annoying. Oh, was I already here? Or was I supposed... Yeah, I think... No. It looks like the last place. Yeah, no, nothing. Okay. Yeah, bye-bye. Smell you later. Okay, I don't know why it just stopped following the course. Because I hit A, it followed course for a second, and then just stopped. It's a bit annoying. More antimatter blasters, I'll take it. An apogee. Though it's a pretty rare sight. Now, I am a little worried about it being too slow. If anything, I would be worried about it being too slow. You know, the last place had locusts, which I'm now kind of regretting not picking up, because the locust would have been perfect. High intensity laser plus locust would be perfect for this mission. But locusts should be common enough that I could just go find one again. Yeah, it's just my only concern is that it would be too slow to maintain a safe distance. And I could also just... You know what? I'm just going to buy it. Let's just buy it. I'm going to have to find stuff for it, because... Yeah, I guess Hurricane's okay. But a Locust would probably be better. I don't know if... I'm not convinced that I really want a Hurricane for this fight. The overall damage, like you're going to use a high-intensity laser to strip off armor, and then the Locust having so much ammo would be good for this, because it's going to be a long battle. Speaking of which, we'll throw in a breach here. It looks like there is, in fact, a Reaper. One. Yeah, that's it. Alright. I'm going to have to find stuff for this. Auto Lance is good. We do want that. Blasters go here. That's cool. Yeah, the flux cost is... Let's try like that. Or do I want to max this out? Yeah, let's just do that. That'll be fine. Now I just need like a high-intensity laser. Tac laser would actually be okay here. Tactical lasers do decent extra hull damage. Mostly going to ignore these. Right, it's already got flares to deal with missiles. Not super worried about fighters for now. So let's see, what hull mods do we want? We're going to want that, and that, and that, and that. Let's get auxiliary thrusters so that it does... Well, I guess it depends. Can I get an officer over here? Let's see. Missile specialization. That might be the better choice. To put you over here. On the other hand, this is... Well, you do have target analysis. I was going to say that you're useless for an omen, but you're not. Not completely. Okay. So, intensity laser will be... Yep. Oh, right. Stabilized shields, of course. That's a big deal. Oh, did I... No, there it is. Okay. Stabilized shields. Yeah. And so I'm going to change this over to a Locust, which then would give me enough ordnance points to actually equip the high-intensity laser. And then I just put a few extra points into flux stats, and that should be good. Although, Locust doesn't really need ECCM, so that helps. Yeah. That looks good. Just gotta find some more stuff. And please give me officers. I'm really desperate. So that's round 2. Alright, let's try round 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, we're just gonna hit every place. The officer drought is leaving me thirsty. Bye. Oh yeah, I guess the apogee is going to slow us down a little bit, but I can live with that. And I think even with this, I'll still grab a Sunder if we find one. Oh, they actually want to... They actually want to take us, huh? Yeah, I was hoping that they would just run away and that we could pursue and just get free reputation and stuff. I guess not. It's a ballsy move. I'm a little surprised. Alright, I own 4 of those, and I actually have 1 in my cargo right now. Do I own any of these? No. Pylons are nice. Okay. They do have a tactical laser. Cool. Yeah, this is going to be 700 to 770, so I can just max this out. Hey, look at that. 1500 with hardened shields. So in terms of durability, it's got a lot going for it. Its weaponry is pretty much optimized for this fight. Aside from this. Don't have advanced optics. No, I do have advanced optics, but I don't think I need it. Yeah, I think we're going to be fine. Right. So this is what we got. This is what we got. I can almost start buying the big ships if I wanted to, but I'm probably not going to. I'm mostly going to do high-tech, although once I defeat the Sentinel fleet with the AI ships, I'll probably include one of those in the fleet. Whether it's, hopefully, the Legion or the Onslaught, one of those two. So we've got Reaper number 1, Reaper number 2, now we're just missing this singular one. Okay. Look at this. I'm at a loss for words. Oh, there's a Lytic Shrine here. That's right. Look up the long-term effects of spores. Statistically, human activity within Jangalan biosphere is relatively safe so long as proper air filtration and decontamination procedures are followed. Detox meds for accidental exposure are readily available, though may have unpleasant side effects. There are reports of individuals whose poor luck and lack of contingency planning combined with vehicle malfunction during truly abysmal weather has resulted in cases of long-term exposure to Jangala's biosphere for days, weeks, and in one case, more than a standard month. The resulting growths and infections appear to result in a singularly torturous manner of death. Well, that's very cool and epic. Look at the pictures. Cynical Part wonders if the authorities allow distribution of these graphic accounts to promote protocol compliance. Well, that would be a good idea. Right? You don't make it look like sunshine and rainbows if this stuff kills people. Standard dose of anti-xenols. That's an interesting name for it. Okay. This seems like a terrible place to... I think this would be the answer. That's what I would say. Because the fact that it's a terrible place is probably part of the point. You know, it's the... You know, physical inconvenience leads to spiritual development or something like that. It's not a matter... Yeah, look. Bringing oneself before the sacred is not a matter of convenience. I promise I did not read that before saying what I said. Travelers to worship here confers upon an act of extraordinary sense of self-reflection, I believe. Yeah. Yes, that is true. We try to... it disturbs the worship. I have no intention of going out there. I mean, outside the real shrine? I'll continue, sure. You're led past heavy curtains. The murmur of pilgrims is muted. Oh, this is a cool image. And all artificial light shut out. Your eyes adjust to the shrine chamber, taking in rows of silhouetted pilgrims kneeling before polished panes of diamond matrix, illuminated by the sticky yellow-green cloud cover from without. Beyond the windows, you see overgrown human figures, a statue garden. The forms blister with growths, crawling with tendrils, sprouting the fruiting bodies of alien life. One moves, not the wind, but another pilgrim. Exposed and outdoors, there are people out there. You realize at the start, wearing only light robes, easily overtaken by the overgrowth. Their feet more forms come into focus, covered by a quilt of mosses and mycelium, or whatever alien equivalent which obscures the feet of the statues. Bones. Or are they fallen branches and overgrown rocks? The final wish for some terminally devoted fanatics, or your imagination set loose? Who's to say? The green churns, not quite imperceptibly, in the course of the minutes you watch, all-consuming. Ferociously regenerative, a cycle of life that could be born of Earth or an alien world. And then we leave. So we did get 28,000 XP. I mean, if I was level 1, that would be pretty significant. I guess it's 14,000 baseline, and then this, bonus XP doubles it. Maybe these would be worth doing early game as like an XP boost that doesn't require you to do any combat or anything. Because you're definitely not getting this much from trading early on. I'll have to think about that. Might be worth checking out in the future. Right, okay. Yeah, don't think I want anything here. I think we're good. Moving on. Yeah, more stuff in the bottom corner that we're not going to hit. That's... Although, hold on. I forgot to read through it. Let's see. Exploration, where is it? Oh, it's right here, down in the corner. Okay, some distance away. Yeah, so nothing of interest. What about you? Barren world. I might actually get to you in time. I'll take that. Right, this is nothing. We're going to this. Okay. So what are we looking at? I don't own any light needlers, so I should probably grab those. They can be useful. And there's a sunder. I'll toss that into the fleet. Alright, so now we've got an extra Medusa, an extra apogee, and better equipment for the mission we're going to take on. So I think this time, we should still get a pretty decent amount of bonus XP. It might be more like 250 instead of 330. So we should still get a pretty decent amount. I do have 2 story points, which is perfect because I can move this over here, and then I'll still have a story point that allows me to run away if I need to. I was not paying enough attention if there were more eye or auto lances. I really should have been looking more carefully for those. Yeah, I guess I'll just throw on breaches, even though it's a bit... We've already got anti-armor. Yeah, I should have been looking more carefully. I forgot that I might need more of them. Slipped my mind. Okay. Subsystems, hardened shields. Targeting unit. Advanced optics might be a good choice here. There it is. Okay. Stabilized shields. There it is. Alright, let's, you're already over that. Okay. So, a couple of those would cost 16. 16. Okay. I don't think I need really any more dissipation. I can just put it into capacity, really. Yeah, it's just the 5. Okay. Yeah, throw in a couple of... No, it's 16, not 18. I'll throw in a couple more dissipation. Yeah, that looks good. That should be killing them a lot quicker. I think the reason the Sunder was kind of bugging out, I think it's because Alex did tweak the AI with high energy focus. So it's supposed to use them in sync instead of just like spamming high energy focus on cooldown. And then a lot, like the problem before was if you had a Tachyon Lance and high energy focus, a lot of the time it would use the high energy focus when the Tachyon Lance was on cooldown, which was kind of a waste. And by kind of a waste, I mean a big waste. It didn't make sense. So he's adjusted it so now it uses them in sync a lot more often. And I have noticed improvement in that way, but it might also have introduced some unintended side effect where sometimes it just doesn't shoot when it's supposed to. That's the best explanation that I can think of. Okay, yeah, we're almost looking ready. Once again, we found no officers in 3 systems, looking at like 10 planets. I really just want to find some officers so that I can start training them from the ground up. Instead of these abominations that have skill sets that are either randomized or, and some of them have skill sets that just don't fit the ships that I want them to be in. Right, hold on, let me just turn that off. There we go. Yep, no officers. Oh, perfect. 2, exactly what I needed. It looks like the pirates aren't useless for once. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Did not end up finding any locusts. I guess we'll give the Hurricane a chance. It probably doesn't need ECCM because that got buffed, even though the overall damage got nerfed. We'll give it a chance. All right, you can prove yourself today. I guess for now I'll toss on hammers for this one. If I find a Reaper, I'll replace it. And then I'm going to go to these 2 places, looking for officers really. And if I don't find them, then I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna go do the battle. Oh, you know, I probably should have scanned this for some extra. Well, that being said, I do have this. I've forgotten that I got that. Slip Surge. I'll have to give that a try. What have we got up here? Desert World. Okay. Mildly interesting, but I'm not going to remember that. Is this really the close? Have I scanned this? I have not. Let's see. Some distance away, not particularly interesting. Although, it is close to somewhere. Hold on. Yeah, it's right there, so that's going to be worth picking up. Officer, please. Nope. Okay. Anything of interest? There's a very beat up Grendel, which I hear is actually pretty solid ship. Okay, let's move on. I mean, its main competition is probably the Harbinger, because they're both the same deployment points and they're both phase ships. The difference is just very different. They're different kinds of phase ships. It would be nice if the... Yeah, I'm not going to grab those. That's fine. It'd be nice if the Harbinger was, you know, better. Because it is a very... Yeah, neither of those are interesting. It's a very different approach to phase ships. Because the problem that you run into with especially the phase frigates is that they can be pretty samey in terms of gameplay. It's like, oh wow, anti-banner blasters again. Oh, light needlers today. Daring, aren't we? So, right, the Gremlin does manage to be a little different. It's still not great, but you can slap on some... You get small missiles, you can slap on some Reapers with a decoy flare launcher. That's a good combo. It's only got a maximum burn of 9. Hey, look at that. So this is one of those slow frigates. As if it doesn't have enough disadvantages as is. Yeah. Hey, hold on, let me... Right, before I forget... There we go. What do you got? Ordnance expertise. Reckless. Okay. Do I really need ordnance expertise for anything? The Paragon is going to want it. It's not going to be useful for the guys that I have right now. But it is going to be useful for the Paragon back home. Reckless, though, I'm going to have to change that, which is... It cost me a story point, which is not ideal. Okay, let's see. Jump point. I'm also going to have to look out for bounties, because I want to do something quick. Like, I'll do one of these down here. Yeah, like this guy. I could do this pretty easily. I'll grab that. So that should push me over the edge. I can level up. I'll get another story point. Bada bing, bada boom. We'll be ready for battle. Okay, what have we got here? Of course, no officers. anything of interest? Not particularly. Yeah, I'm not even sure why I'm checking all that stuff. That I'm not really looking to buy anything. All right, Sphinx. Let's see if you're wise as you. Let's see if you guys are as wise as your namesake, and you actually provide me with some officers. Yes. Ballistic mastery. Ballistic mastery. Ballistic mastery. Okay. I'm going to hire you for now. I'm going to toss you in the Sunder. And that's what you're going to do. Okay? Alright. Very cool. Yeah, I would like to double the spawn rate of officers. Oh, hey, look at that. I guess you guys were all just hiding in this system, huh? Jackass. Alright. Gunnery implants is not really what I was looking for here. Although I guess it's not terrible on the omens, just because I can make it elite to get more ECM. Especially now that the remnants don't get the ECM fleet skill. It's a lot easier to actually stack up a decent amount of ECM. So if I have 5 omens, it's 5%. I get another 4%. Okay. Now, maybe doing all of them with gunnery implants would work better. This one already has point defense plus helmsmanship. If I want to get gunnery implants, I would want to drop one of these. And the other problem with ECM, with this is that then I would have to sacrifice one of my other elite skills. And between target analysis, systems expertise, and combat endurance, I don't really want to do that. I am just going to mentor you now. I'm just going to do that. I don't want to deal with reckless personality when we go into this fight. I just don't want that. Okay. I could swap you two. Although I'm not sure that would actually matter. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to leave you guys. It's fine. Do you guys have any Reapers? I stopped looking, but it's not going to matter too much. Okay. So yeah, I think that's it. I'm going to call it here. I'm going to stop my shopping trip here, and we're going to go do something. Is alt not working? No, it is. Okay. Yeah, I'll just grab that. Now we're going to move on. Let's see how far the slip surge shoots us. So I want to go down here. It might be too far. How do I use this? Must be near powerful gravity well. Yep. I am definitely near one. Let me pause. Short duration slipstream flowing from the nearest gravity well. Its strength and intensity and availability based on stellar objects' mass, density. Oh right, doesn't it? I think it only works with yeah, black holes, neutron stars extreme, supergiant stars high, giant stars average, and anything smaller than that doesn't count. Okay, that's right. You can't just use any old star. It's got to be a big boy. Got it. All right, so you are dwarf star. Okay. In the Australia Nebula. That's a dwarf. That's a dwarf. So we got 2 places to check. We're looking for a barren world. All right, let's go. Might have wanted to buy more supplies while we were at it. That might have been worth doing. But I guess we should be picking up a lot of supplies from these battles anyways. So I guess I'm not really worried about it. That is nice. Alright, gonna look for a barren world. I might want to think up some names for the ships that I've got. Right, like, oh, I don't even remember which Omen was the survivor. I could have, like, given it a name, like, the last survivor. I could have done something like that. Yeah, it looks like you guys are not here. Because or maybe it's this one. I'm going to take that as a no. There's nobody home. So it's got to be the other system. I mean, it would just tell me, right? If I click here. Near in the... No, it's in this system. It specifically says this system. Epsilon Estrella star system. which is this one. So yeah, it is the system. They're just somewhere where they're not supposed to. Oh, this is also Barren World. I guess for some reason I didn't think of that because it's bigger. Alright, yeah, we'll fight you. Yeah, we're not even getting bonus XP for this one. That's how worthless you are. Useless. Alright, we're gonna number those number 1. Give you guys number 2. This can be number 3. I don't exactly have the right weapons loadout because I'm lacking sabos, but I feel like against pirates, we're going to find that that's not really an issue. I'll just... Okay, just lobbing those out right off the bat. Interesting choice. Don't want to get salamandered there. Bye-bye. Ooh, missed. Yeah, that's just going to get defeated by its point defense. I soaked up all of those piranha bombs, although it looks like those two are still coming for me. Not for long. Oh, yeah, that's a problem. I guess I should have been more careful of this guy. Alright, you can do that if you want. Good night. Don't mind me, just missing my anti-magic blaster shots. Alright. So this should hopefully give me enough XP to level up. If not, I'm going to be looking for something else. So I really do want to level up before going back over there. Alright, let's get some full assault, because you guys should be able to take those. You shouldn't be backing off. They're colossus. They're frail. All right. Perfect. Yeah, I'll recover that. Okay. Did we level up? No. We're very close. That was like half of what we needed. So I'm gonna have to find something else to level me up. Is there any nearby bounties? I guess there's the stations, which are worth way less than their difficulty, unfortunately. I could do this one. Actually, I could just fight some of the fleets around the station. I don't necessarily have to beat the station itself. If the fleets are big enough, because I'm really close to leveling up anyways. Although I do think I have a decent shot at it with, you know, high-intensity lasers. I've got a crew, you know, this thing's got nice shields. I feel like it's a bit too risky. The risk-reward ratio is just really not worth it. Yeah, come engage me. Come on. There we go. There we go. This should do it. You don't need to... No, let's not deploy those. Didn't deploy you for some... Oh, right. You're number 2 as well. That's why. So we're just going to do the same thing over again. This pylon got way further ahead than the other two. That's interesting. Must have been plasma burning at a weird timing. Oh, this one has shields. An upgrade. Alright, let's back up a little bit. I don't know how you're even killing things. This, I mean, I guess it's just because it's a kite. Because that weapon loadout is really not suited to doing anything here. It's pretty terrible against shields in just about every way. Alright, let's take some distance, get our flux back down. Alright, let's see what we're doing. You guys are dragging them out this way, that's fine. I guess the major concern would be this. The last one, this would have been fine because it had no... The last one had no shields, so it would have been destroyed by the apogee, but this one, that is a concern. How are you doing? Not well. Okay. Well, let's try not to lose you as well. Yeah, it might be too late, though. Well, I sniped him. That's pretty good. I did not notice that I was being chased by salamanders, though, so... a little stuck. And he's probably going to retreat. I guess we'll get him in the post-action... chasing the enemy, second in command. You know the drill. Or maybe the Medusa will catch him on the way out. So this time I did actually save the ship being killed by the Eradicator. Perfect. Yep, there we go. And now that's just this shepherd. Come on now. You don't need to be scared. Don't worry, little guy. We'll make it quick. I was a little concerned that he wouldn't have his shields up there, but he was fine. Okay, so level up. There we go. That's what I like to see. Okay. So now we can reassign this. We can grab this and this. I think I'm going to need the maneuverability more than the damage reduction. Yeah, now I'm out of story points. Completely gone. So, this means that if I get caught by a larger fleet, I am kind of screwed. So let's just not do that. It's as simple as. Okay, so I want to get over here. I think now's a good time to try out the slip surge. So now's a perfect time to try out the slip surge. I'm not sure how far it'll shoot me, but we will find out. Yeah, that looks like a bounty hunter or mercenary fleet. That's fine. I was a little concerned that there's a big pirate fleet hanging out next to the place with the pirates, but in this case, that looks like that didn't happen. So, how does this work? Do I have to be pointing in the direction I want to go? Do I have to do like this? I guess I do. Okay. Yoink. Alright. That was cool. Yeah, it launched me about halfway there. Nice. So it's not crazy. It's not shooting you like across the sector. Although, you know, maybe a black hole would do that, but... don't exactly have easy access to black holes. I guess I'll try this black hole shooting me up this way. See how far I get. And then we'll be able to compare. Alright, boys, it's time for round 2. Don't disappoint me. I'm looking at you, Sunder. Battle station complete. And I actually have enough credits to upgrade. Look at that. Beautiful. And it's still size 3, so... And crisis progress is pretty low. So I feel like we'll be able to deal with it when it comes. Right, it's up here. I'll just... Yeah, I'm going to save time. It's going to cost me some fuel, but it's going to save me some time to just do this. Alright. Let's see how we go. 231%, so it's significantly lower. No, we're not deploying the civilian ships. But this should go a lot better. Alright, that's a good start. So that's a lot of damage done to that. That's good. It actually hit one of the small ones with the hurricane there. No need for ECCM. That's pretty useful. Also, lesson learned from last time, you gotta be somewhat conservative with ammo here. Because I did run out of antimatter blasters, and that sucked. It was awful. Of course, antimatter blasters have the advantage that you don't worry about them getting shot down by point defense. Alright. So the big boys are still scary to confront head-on without support. Yeah, let's not die. This thing's got machine guns on it, so that's going to shred my shields. Let's take care of you. Alright. Yeah, things are looking good. Just gotta bring the right equipment. Yeah, I think it's a lot less of finicky when you have a high intensity laser instead of a tachyon lens. I'll have to try and reproduce the AI issue and report that as a bug, because it seems like there's an issue there. Yeah, we're not playing around this time, big boy. Say goodnight. Where are you pointing? I think his rotation got stuck because of the debris. I think the shield was... That was a little off. Yeah, without any shields, this is just going to destroy them. It's beautiful. And double Reaper makes this a lot easier. Yeah, it's time to say goodnight. Bye-bye. Alright, let's not get blown up by you. Just dodge that. Nice and clean. Ooh, that last Reaper didn't get through, but that's fine. You're gone. Yeah, I'm noticing a distinct lack of kinetic damage on there. It's gonna make your life kind of difficult, isn't it? Yeah, see, look at this. So much faster. So much cleaner. Did you just overload by physically bumping into the mothership? That's kind of hilarious. Yeah, I figured if I shot it between those two, it would hit both. Perfect. So now we're down to pretty much everything we had left last time. But this time we have a full fleet, so I have a sneaking suspicion it's going to go a lot better. The two Devastators are alternating, so I can't really get my shot through. My Reaper. That's fine. It's enough to just ruin your life. I don't need to hit the Reaper. Sunder did take a significant amount of damage, but that's about it. Otherwise, that was pretty clean. Nearly flawless. Oh, the Thumper actually managed to stop one. Actually, I think this fleet is almost good enough to take on those mercenaries we're going to have to fight soon at the black site. I just think that we're not really... It's almost good enough, but we're really not equipped for it because we've really specialized into anti-armor here. And that's victory. Oh, we did actually lose an Omen. Okay. I mean, that's fine. 16... No. What? I thought it said 16 Gamma Cores for some reason. Okay. Last time it was Jover. Today, we are so back. Alright. Dump that. Let me get to salvage again. I think this is one of the problems with the salvaging mechanic is, you know, you do a battle and then you can salvage the debris, but then because the battle was with like a mothership or something, you can salvage the motherships. There's two overlapping. Like, it's bad enough that there's the post-salvage debris field, like post-battle debris fields. But then you have two of them overlapping from the same thing. That's just kind of wacky. Yeah, so we want to end up over here, which means we're going to go here. I think what we've got is, I believe we have a pristine nanoforge, a catalytic core, and now we have a synchrotron core. I believe we have one of each, which is perfect. Not for the planet that I actually colonized, because I colonized the food world, but the neighboring planet with no atmosphere really likes all of that. Alright, let's see what we get. Alright. Very cool. It looks like you still burn the same amount of fuel, as far as I can tell. Or maybe there's more efficiency. Let me look. Rally travel up to 15 light years. Attempting to move slowly during the transit will decelerate the fleet quickly. Fleet center ranges, yeah. Consumes... So it does cost fuel to use, and combat readiness. Interesting. Wait, hold on. Here we go. There we go. Alright, so we want to be here, but we want to be sneaky. So we're going to drop in here. I'm not looking for another battle. We just had our big victory. Okay, so this gas giant is where they are. Alright. Let's just hop in over there. Easy peasy. It was this one, I believe. I really want to scan this, but that would also massively increase my sensor profile and probably give me away. I'll take some organs. Sure. Yeah, for some reason, they wanted me to transport a science team to the same place that I'm doing the black site extraction. Well, it looks like nobody's showing up on sensors, so I probably didn't get revealed my position either. We're just going to walk over here at a normal pace. Yep. No need. I already know how to do that. Frickin' nerd. I already know how to transverse jump, nerd. You might write pretty theories or whatever, but I just know how to do shit, like, intuitively. Which is way cooler. I am very cool. Alright. Levels up. Levels up. Okay. We're seeing level ups. What do you got? So systems expertise is, of course, a really good pickup. It's probably better than field modulation. But the thing is, you can use systems expertise as kind of a soft reroll. Because it's guaranteed to show up at the next level, what you want to do is you want to pick the ones that you want down here. And then if you hit a level where you don't get what you want, you can just come up here and pick one of these, like whichever one of these is relevant for your ship. So the next level I'll pick up systems expertise. Well, yeah, because I'm probably not going to have officer training by that point. So you're looking good. Right, this is finally getting an officer that actually has the appropriate skills. What is this? I see a modified super freighter with a bunch of Marines inside. I'll take them. Okay, so this is some distance away, and this is in the heart. So we'll check the heart first. And there's a mining station. Nice. Salvage that. Hello. Salvage fleet. A plasma dynamo. I wasn't really planning on colonizing any gas giants in the foreseeable future. But maybe it'll become relevant. Yeah, I'm just going to dump those. I don't need them. Oh, I can also do that. Oh, I leveled up again. That was fast. Right, because I just did the mission. I just did that battle again. Right, I did 230% bonus XP is still a lot when there's that many enemy ships. So, next up, Neuralink. Yeah, I'm going to make this elite. And I'm going to grab Neuralink. Although I could grab Officer Training to get that officer to level 6. I'm not super worried. Well, it would be optimal because it would make it easier to get that final. But then again, I could just wait until they get enough XP for level 5. Then I could grab Officer Training, depending on. Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, it's definitely much easier. Yeah, because I want to beeline for cybernetic augmentation. It's much easier to get your officer skills right if they need systems expertise or missile spec or both. Because you just pick the skills that you want, and you can use Mentor to re-roll. But then you can also use those because missile spec and systems expertise are guaranteed at like level 4 onwards. They're like a soft re-roll. Well, or I guess they just are a reroll because they're guaranteed. So if you look at the other skill slots and you don't see what you want, you just pick that since it's there. And if you do see what you want, you ignore it because you know it's going to show up next level. If you need both systems expertise and missile specialization, it is really easy to get the right skills, relatively speaking. Now, of course, the one way to guarantee you get what you want is, well, you can't be playing on iron mode, first of all. What you do is you just start at level 1, you pick somebody who's got the right skill, and then you just take them into enough battles that they've gained enough XP to reach the max level, and then you just start going through and picking the skills that you want, and when you hit a roadblock, you mentor to reroll, and then you pick the remaining skills until they reach max level, and if you didn't get what you wanted, you just reload the save and do it again, because each time you do the mentor, so the thing that you'll notice is that when you're picking out your skills, the ones that they roll at the next level are the same every time. So you kind of can't cheese it that way. But the loophole there is that mentor works differently. When you mentor them, they're not going to roll the same skills every time you reload the save. And because of that, you're kind of able to force the game to give you whatever you want. Again, it does not work You know, that requires you to save and reload, so that can't really work on iron mode unless you save and like throw out. You know, you force close the game. But I mean, like if you're gonna play on iron mode, like come on, stop cheating. It's like if you really want to save and reload, just don't play on iron mode, right? The fact that you can do it on iron mode doesn't mean that it's a good idea. All right, so we're seeing a scattered ruins here. Cool. No, I don't need those. Grab that, grab that. All right. It's another debris field. Some more stuff. There's a lot of stuff in this system. It's very tightly packed too, so it's not taking too much time. Not taking too many days. Yes, cargo pods. Scan that. What do we got here? A research station. Hello. It's all coming up Bingus, baby. The Bingus domain is just getting all of the equipment that it could ever dream of. That is perfect. That is so good. The difference between commerce with and without the hollow thing, I mean, the amount of extra income you get from this thing is huge once you get a commerce. It's real good. Okay, so let's learn this. Yeah, we're getting, not only are we getting a lot of colony items, we're getting a good variety of them. So I'm pretty sure, yeah, I still haven't gotten it, even though it's in the heart of the system. Is it just further out, even though it says the heart? Yeah, it must be, because I'm not seeing it here. It's got to be over here. So this is one of them. Which one is it? This was some distance away. So the one that's in... No. Oh, they're both some distance away. Of course, the one that's in the heart... Why did I think one of them was in the heart of the system? Huh. Alright. Now I guess I'm just going to salvage these. Yeah, I don't think... That's a lot of topographic data. Appreciate it. Have I got my... No, I have not gotten my tablet yet. Let's see. Major events, hyperspace topography. Oh, wow. This is actually 1,000. It takes 300 points to get there. So a bit more than it was before. Better be worth more, because otherwise that would just be nonsense. Yeah, I don't need that. Let's see. Atlas Super Freighter. Might want one of those, actually. I mean, I already have one, but more the merrier. But I'm not going to spend a story point on it. No thanks. They're going to be scarce in the late game. Grinding out a story point. I would rather just pay a bunch of money for one. Because you can't buy story points. But you can certainly make a lot of money. Even though you can make a lot of money. That would make that. What do you want? If you're looking for my fleet, I went in this direction. I don't know why you're going in that direction. You guys are really bad at your job. Alright, so I'm going to use this. Okay, what have we got here? I'm going to try down. Because I've got to find the other one in this system. I've got 38 days. And I'm going to get over to this one in 29 days. Oh, hey, look at that. There's a lot of random crap in this system. Because I've definitely been to systems where there's literally nothing. There's no planets. You explore around with the neutrino... Like, the neutrino detector wasn't even giving me false signals. It was just giving me nothing. There are systems that are just empty. Although, quite rare. But this one is packed with stuff. Level 5, I hope you're good. Or you might get tossed out in airlock. Nothing personal. Yeah, I can kind of... Yeah, this is one of the presets, skill sets. Because I've seen this one pop up multiple times. It's got impact mitigation and field modulation, so it's kind of got defensive value for both shields and armor. combat endurance is a good, and then the remaining 3, target analysis, ordnance expertise, and combat endurance are pretty generic ones. They're good on most ships. Yeah, I think I'm going to get more value out of you than maybe something like this. So I'll put you not on an Omen, no. I will put you on the Sunder. Okay. Let's go out here. More of this. I do need to get out of here, so I don't want to get too distracted. Another level 5 officer. Hello. Oh, yeah, I don't need any of that crap. So these two are fighting over... There's some... Yeah, the scavenger's just like... killing some people or something. Not my problem, though. Not worried about it. Okay. Another officer. That's right. I want to check that out. This looks like... What is this? This must be a randomly generated one, because it's also got both of these, but then missiles, energy, and gunnery implants. Yeah, that's odd. That's strange. Maybe it would be better than this. Maybe that's a good pickup for the you? What would you level up for? Although... No, not really. Yeah. Because I do want to make sure that I'm leveling up an officer for... Yeah, although I don't think you're going to be good for anything anyways. So while I have you, I'd rather get systems expertise, if possible, instead of this. Although I do want... You're not going to be permanent. I'm going to replace you with somebody else who can be trained with the proper set of skills. Yeah, that's not real. That's fake. This is fake news. You can't fool me. I've got sharp senses like an eagle, and the grace of a swan, and the wisdom of an owl. Some might even say that I'm for the birds. Alright, let's try to get in here quick. 19 days is not a ton of time. So it's not this planet. I'm going to survey this because I picked up an insane amount of supplies. This is a pretty sparse... So one of them's up here. But this is pretty sparse for a blue giant. The planets are pretty far apart, and there's not that many of them comparatively. Barren world. So, not this one. That's rocky metallic, so it's that bottom planet. Okay. It's not here, it's going to be that one. Perfect. We can pick this up nice and easy. And we made it in time. There's a lot of defenses. Well, I mean, considering we just smoked... Well, not just, but we did smoke the mothership. This should not be too hard. Yeah, I'll deploy all of that. So, what other ships am I going to want to include in this fleet? I think what I'm going to go for is I'm going to grab a second Fury that I can link to. I'm going to grab an Astral who's going to... I'm going to set the Astral to escort the Paragon in combat, so it'll sit behind it and provide significant fire support. And then from there, I think the remaining points I'm going to devote to the Sentinel ships with the AI chorus. That seems to... That's probably what I'm going to do. And then from there, it's mostly going to be grinding out... Really, it's probably going to be grinding out story points so I can fully S-mod everything. Because that's the main thing that I'm going to be lacking for a little while. Well, that and Cryoblasters. Cryoblaster on this thing would have made my life so much easier at this point. The performance of the Cryoblaster is just so much better than the Heavy Blaster overall. Especially when you've got like antimatter blasters and reapers to deal with armor, and you've got other things to deal with shields. And just that raw hull DPS is incredible. Yeah, you've got that. Another fleet that I can do would be something like... Well, I could do like a stealth fleet where it's mostly like frigates. You could include like what you can have like frigates with insulated engines, so they have 15 sensor profile, and then you can have S-modded insulated engines on capital ships to get them down to 15, and then include a bunch of phase frigates in the fleet with the sensor skill. And the overall result is that you can have a full combat fleet with a variety of different ships. You've got, you know, you've got like you can have like 2 Grendels in there. You can have a Paragon. You can have a bunch of frigates, and then but then despite having a nice variety and like a maxed out fleet, your sensor profile is tiny. And then of course there's another pretty good way to go is to just spam Medusas. Actually, wait, hold on. Yeah, that's correct. What you could do is... Actually, I've got a lot of different ideas. I'm going to stick to the one that I've already got planned for this one, which is, as I've said earlier. But another one that I find interesting is you can have, you know, officer management gets you 10 officers. So you can have 10 Medusas with officers, right? You grab these skills, you grab that. And that's 120 deployment points. And then what you do is you grab Neuralink, and you get 2 Paragons, because if you link 2 Paragons together, that's 120 DP. So 120 from the Medusas, 120 from the Paragons, boom. That's your full 240. And the Medusas, I mean, if you've got 10 of them, well, with systems expertise, they're fast enough to capture all the points really easily. You know, they're going to max out your bonuses from coordinated maneuvers. So they can do the point capping, but then unlike a lot of frigates, these things they're a lot bulkier, and have more firepower, and you have 10 of them, so they can easily overwhelm a lot of enemy cruisers. And then of course you've got your 2 Paragons that you've linked together, so you can get a bunch of, like, you can grab this, you can grab 5 here, 5 here, and 5 here, basically the same setup I'm doing right now, but you know, you're going to pick your skills better for the Paragon instead. So you're going to have like 6, maybe 7 if you double dip here, which then gets boosted by cybernetic augmentation. And then, of course, cybernetic augmentation, the bonus only applies to ship with officers, but not AI cores. And your whole fleet would have officers. I mean, the only problem with that would be that it would be a bit it'd be a bit boring just because you've only got 2 ships in the fleet. You've got Medusas and you've got Paragons. So it might be a little boring because of how homogenous it is. But it's definitely effective. Medusas are pretty good. Although I'm wondering if you might actually want to have different builds for the Medusas, because some of them could hang around the Paragons with an escort package, and then other ones could instead get like unstable injectors to make them better at capturing the points. So you could divide them into different types of loadouts. Okay, so I want to go grab that. Yeah, I've got 39 days. I don't need to rush. So I will survey this planet and then pop over. I'll survey this planet, go through the jump points, see if there's anything in this area, pop over here, come back to here, and then go there. Okay. I don't want the metals. Alright. Definitely heard something. No, I guess there's nothing. Alright, let's see if there's anything. And I guess I'll have to check if there's another... No, there wouldn't be... It wouldn't be that close to the other one, would it? Because if I go to exploration... Yeah, the other one is right here. There's no way the thing would spawn that close, right? I guess I'll check just in case. But there's probably some kind of safety to make sure that they don't just spawn next to each other. And you know, it'll be nice when the hypershunts actually get to do something more interesting. Like, don't they give you they give you like an extra industry slot, I think? Yeah, they should. Yeah, when you install the, first of all, they need to be within a certain number of light years of your colony. And then you need to install the item. And then you need like 10 transplutonics. And then it gives you an extra industry, which is a nice bonus, but that's a lot of the qualifications you got to meet to get that bonus. Pretty big. I assume that as the story progresses, we will be activating the gates system somehow using those. Right, that'll probably be relevant in the end game. We'll be using the hyper shunt's energy to reactivate the gate system so everyone can use them. And then some kind of... Yeah, I'm starting to think that maybe the reason the gates shut off is because the domain was being overwhelmed by some kind of enemy, like the Omegas are in like an AI project that got out of hand, or wherever they came from. The domain got into a war with them, and they're losing, and so they shut off the gate system on purpose in order to preserve the rest of humanity. And so by turning them on again, we're going to become vulnerable to this enemy. But that's just a theory. A game theory. Yeah, blow him up. Kick his ass. Show him what for. You are just a point defense bot. You have no purpose in life. You serve no purpose. You're just sucking up the oxygen. Well, there's no oxygen in space, but... I mean, I'm sure you understand what I mean. Your life is as valuable... Well, it's not even alive, so that doesn't really work. Your life is as valuable as a summer ant. You're a point defense drone. You do nothing. You lose. Alright, we're going to survey this, then we're going to check the accretion disk. And someday soon, I would love to get... I mean, I can just check the core worlds sometime, and there should be another Fury lying around somewhere. Now that I've got Neuralink. So this did give me a survey ship location. Let's see. Okay, there's a lot of these. I should probably just delete most of these because they're not going to be too interesting. So it's in this system, the system that I'm already in. Last seen some distance away from the center. Okay, so that means I'm going to be using the neutrino scanner. Yeah, I suspect there's nothing else around the center. Alright, so I'm seeing... It could be on the other side of the star. I wouldn't know because it's being blocked. So I'm seeing some down. I'm a little worried that those are just cargo pods that I've left behind. Let's turn that off. Yeah, it's probably just pointing at the planets. Oh, I didn't end up surveying this one. Oops. I guess I'll just do that now. Okay, so that should be everything. Yeah, I severed all of them. This is somewhere in the system. Yeah, that's just pointing at the planet. That one's also pointing at the planet. So it's probably on the other side of the star, because I'm not even seeing fake signals on this side. And presumably, I really should be able to... I think this one's also pointing at the planet, isn't it? Okay, so I'm seeing... Yeah, now I'm starting to see this. There's a little dot right here, now that I've moved over to the side. This is probably the Domain Era survey ship. Because it doesn't look like it's pointing at the planet. It's kind of up in this direction. But it would be weird for it to be in this... Yeah, there's another one. That one's pointing at the planet. This one is pointing in this direction. And it does seem to be getting a little bit bigger. Which suggests to me that this is real. Yeah. Hello. That's a lot more automated defenses. But, hey, we're even getting bonus XP. Look at that. We did beat the mothership, though. And this is just the same thing, but less. Yeah, when I get home, I think I'm pretty rich now. I can just afford to carry the Paragon around instead of leaving it at home. Did I really miss that? Okay. I'll just hit you with round number 2. You hit him with the right, you hit him with the left. I mean, if you've got all high explosive, I'm really not that concerned about you. Oh, no way. It's got arbaleths, of course. Horrifying, really. Yep, and I missed, and I'm kind of screwed, except for the fact that that little drone was in the way. It was saving me. He didn't even get a chance to hit me with that. Sucks to suck, I guess. That little drone was saving me. See, that's the reverse end of the frustration that you and I experience when the AI blocks our shot. And our own teammates block us, or block our own ships, and they kind of just screw up. That's the flip side to it. The AI can do that to you and save your ass. Also the fact that, oh come on, really? There's also the fact that now elite field modulation reduces overload duration, which... Did I lose an omen again? Really? Alright. Which just makes way more sense than that being on systems expertise. Alright, what have we got left? We've got you, so you two can come over here. Because we are going to clean this guy out pretty fast. Don't want to leave that Omen 1v2ing them while we all dogpile this thing. It's just not necessary. So go to autopilot, turn that off. Perfect. Let's get more aggressive. We could... No, I won't click full assault. It's fine. We don't need to do that. It's one down. And that's number 2. So we lost Omen again. I think it's the same one. Because it's ordered. It's got it doesn't get 3D mods. Yeah, it's the same one. Let me check that officer. That might explain why. I just need to check the officer. I'm going to have to dump those. Well, I mean, not... Hold on. If I'm going to be dumping supplies, then I might as well just hold on to them anyways. Okay. Yeah, this is a ridiculous number of things. Okay, survey data. Okay, that doesn't... That's useless. Yeah, I've got the survey data. I don't need you to sit in my logs and tell me that I have that forever. So there's a habitable world here. Yeah, you know what? I don't really care about that. I'm not going to be colonizing 50 million planets. I'm going to be colonizing the ones that are convenient for me. Supply caches, see, these are things I could go loot later on. So that's worth knowing. Survey data, that's... This, like, at least I understand that, like, oh, before you've colonized... This might be a good thing to know. But this, like, I have the survey data. I could click on the system and look at the planet's data. This does not tell me anything. This entry. So that's got that. Bye-bye. Ultra rich. Bye-bye. Debris field. Okay. Nope. Nope. And nope. Okay. So that's a lot less messy. It's a lot neater. That's nice. Okay, now I think we just go home. What's also really convenient is that there is a black hole next to our home system, which is perfect for the slip surge. So if I want to go somewhere and the gates aren't the right way to do it, well, I mean, honestly, I'm not even sure I need to set up a gate in my home system because there's a gate right here in the black hole next to my home system. Right, it's perfect for gate travel and slip surge. Although there is definitely a level of just sheer convenience that comes from having the gate in your system. You don't have to, like, go through the gate, then go back to hyperspace. Home sweet home. Deliver the item. Let me give you a job. It doesn't tell me what the item is. I guess it's just like a... I'm not supposed to know, I guess. It's just a little black market dealing, nothing big. I'm not going to bother, though. So you can dump all of that. And let's see. Yeah, we've got pristine nanoforge catalytic core. Brilliant. Okay. I mean, look at this lineup. Oh. So I do want to, at some point, colonize this. Yeah. It's orbiting the same gas giant, which means that any defensive structures I build are kind of close enough that they should be able to defend each other reasonably well. Eventually I can colonize the gas giant itself to get the plasma dynamo going, which I don't really need to worry about too much because the little moon also has volatiles anyways. So I'll be mining on the moon. Ideally I would get the big drill, the core, the mantle bore. The drill that will pierce the planet. But other than that, it'll be mining, heavy industry, fuel production, and refining. And it's going to be able to use all these items. It's so beautiful. And this planet is going to be able to do, farming. It'll be able to do light industry in order to manufacture drugs. And then it'll be able to put on a commerce. That's going to be nice. And then, of course, mining for the organics. Let's see. Yeah, there's nothing else to build. I've pretty much upgraded everything I can. This is upgraded. This is going to be maxed out. Oh, right. I could upgrade this, which just increases ground defenses. Not super useful. But it does make it harder to raid, and I don't know how much of an issue that is with the crisis. Might be worth doing. But I'll hold on to the money for now. Okay. So, what's the next thing on our list? Oh, just going back to... Yeah, just going back here, really. Yeah, there's not really anything to do right now, so I'll just head back over to Galatia and progress the main quest line. Then I'll probably call it a day. Alright, let's get up over here. Oh boy. Although it looks like there's also this slipstream, so I'm going to kind of want to shoot myself like here so that I can ride the slipstream down. Alright, let's do this. Yoink! Alright, so this is not exactly right. Go away. And we're going to go this way. Oh yeah, perfect. So we're going to go this way. It's a little bit off. But it's hard to aim these things, you know? It's not like there's not exactly a targeting reticle. Pirate base abandoned. Yeah, that's pretty unusual. Where? Yeah, I'm pretty sure this one had a bounty on it. Huh. I guess that's not needed anymore. Is there any cost associated with this? Use an emergency maneuver when performed inside a slipstream. Reversing drive 25 and reduce count. Oh, I see. If you're using it while inside... Okay. I didn't even think about that, but yeah, I guess he doesn't want you to spam click it the way that I do to cross slipstreams. He wants you to use emergency burn, because that's the way you're supposed to do it. So spam clicking this is disincentivized with a bit of fuel and supply cost. Alright, well, it's good to know that... well, now that I've read the fine print there, that should be less of an issue in the future. Jump point, volcanic world, hold on. Kind of skimmed over those. Tundra, some distance away. Yeah, not much of interest. Alright, so I'm going to go to Galatia. Although, Tritachyon, can I... You know, I'm actually going to go up here first, because I want to be able to get my hands on another Fury before everything, well, before another war breaks out. That would be nice. So we're looking at orbiting a barren world and heart of the system. The chances you find something orbiting a gate are small, but never zero. Unless you found all the gates. But I doubt it. Grab those. Sell you this crap. Okay. You know, I probably don't have any Savopods left. Okay, yeah, no, nothing here. No officers, of course. I don't even... Yeah, of course not. It simply is unthinkable that there would be more than like 2 at a time. Heart of the system, research station. Hopefully the future missions just happen to send me in that direction, because the research stations are always good. Let's see. I guess I'll buy that. Although I'm probably going to... Yeah, because right now the Paragon has 1 auto pulse and 1 plasma, which is a bit awkward. I'll just buy... I don't need that many, but I also have cash, and large weapons are large weapons. So I'm just going to buy them. You got a Fury? No, but you have a Doom just kind of sitting there, pristine, on the black market. That's not really part of the plan, so I'm just going to pass on that. You know, if I had more money, I would buy it just to store it away, but no thanks. Yeah, we've only got a few levels left. 1 will get me here, then here, then here. Nope, of course not. Alright, so, well, these guys are obviously not going to have a Fury, but they might have an officer. And then after that, I'm going to hit up the other Tritachyon worlds looking for a Fury. And then we'll go to Galatia. Okay, and that's just right next to my home. So, yeah, I'll take it. Mining station, that's next to the research station, so I'll take that. Of course not. Yeah, no, of course not. I do already have 3 of those. Okay, so this place was useless. I guess we'll go down to Scathy, and then we'll go down to the other places. And then we'll head over to Galatia. I mean, it's close by. It's a supply cache. Yeah, I guess I'll grab it. It's just interesting enough. What have we got here? Alright, I have 2 alpha cores now. I should be putting those to use. I should. Yeah, no, this is too small. Speaking of, I don't really need the beta cores. Oh, I clicked 1 by, like, just out of reflex, but that's Planet Killer. Which, no thanks. Select II cores. Another 270,000 cores. Oh, right, and also these. That's about 1 million. I can also switch my commission over to Tritachyon instead of... So relationship is high enough now. Due to... Oh, I see. Well, it's a good thing that the hegemony is in the system, because I can go cut my commission in person, take minimal reputation loss, and then I can just come straight back over. Resign my hegemony. Yes. So we're not at war with the Persian League anymore. Very cool. And our relationship with hegemony is still at 52. Nice. It's really convenient that I remembered this in this system where this is really easy to do. Commission, continue, accept. And now we're at war with the Persian League again. Okay. So I guess both of you are at war with them at the same. You know, I never thought I'd see the Tritac and the Hegemony teaming up against them, against the Persian League. But yeah, I guess the League has just really pissed people off right now. Yeah, because if I check the hostilities tab, yeah, Persian League, yeah, the only wars going on right now is the Hegemony and the Persian League have teamed up against, no, the Hegemony and Tritacan have teamed up, you know, God forbid, but somehow they have teamed up against the Persian League. Okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep, and now we can meet with her. And she's going to ramble on about a bunch of stuff. Yep. What do you need me for? Tell me more. What do you need done? Reopen the gates. Gasp. Shock and awe. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Yeah, we gotta do this. You want me to blackmail a Tritacion executive? I would never. I was simply attentive when a Tritacion executive compromised corporate security to advance his career over a rival. Right, so what I'm guessing there is that you made a deal where he gave you insider info that he was not supposed to give you. That would be the compromised corporate security. And the advancing his career part is that somehow you were able to sabotage his rival. Got it. Do you have any leads on this Scylla? Is that Scylla? Skyla? Actually, you know, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm not really... Like, I can pronounce Kuru, or Kuruz, but, Skyla, Scylla. Yeah, okay, well, I'm just going to pretend that I'm just not going to say it. It's as simple as that. Find Kuruz. Although, for some reason in my head, it's always been Kuruz. That's not right. That's obviously not right. Pretty sure the diplomatic path is faster. I've done the exploration. The first time I did the exploration path because I thought it'd be more interesting. I don't think it really is, actually. I'm sure it will. I'm not going to go into the details. So that's all. Yeah, that's near home, and there's no time limit. Right, we could just grab a few of these. It's fine. And I'm pretty sure those missions up your reputation with independence, which is always useful. Although mine is, it might be high enough that missions don't do anything anymore. So there's a smuggler I could intercept if I, no, that's going to Jangala. That's 3 days. Yeah, no. Yeah, okay. So if we're looking at the important tab, so I want to go here, here, here. And I also want to go check, yeah, I can just come back and look for another Fury another time. And most of the fleets I'm going to fight are going to be those, you know, derelicts, so my weapons are equipped for that just fine. Yeah, this is a pretty good place to call it. That's about it. See ya.